So we were now discussing the report format, and I am about to talk about. We are focused on essay, comparing the report format compared to what we call essay. There are numerous possible formats available for writing a report. It all depends on when you have what we call the noong traditional class nyo pa, it all depends on the professor na nag-require sa inyo ng report. They are the ones providing the, the format na gagamitin nyo on each of your report. On each of your report. And most likely, those are the things that you need to follow. Okay. Below are given the components of what we call report in which they would actually occur. Okay. First of all, as I mentioned earlier, the title page is required. Okay. This should include the title. As you can see it on your screen, your name, name of the professor, and so on. The date of requirements, and so on. Acknowledgements comes second. The content page. Third is what we call the abstract. And then we can proceed now to what we call the introduction. Okay. After introduction, there's what we call the body. This is the main section of the report. There needs to be several sections with each having a subtitle depending on the things that you are actually discussing or you are presenting. Okay. The various sections include review of a specific literature, materials and methods used in conducting at specific and presentations of findings and their significance. After that, there's what we call the conclusions. Okay? As I've mentioned earlier, conclusions are your specific ideas presented according to how your research was done. Okay? Yan yung pinapresent o dyan yung pinapresent yung inyong mga ideas, yung inyong mga conclusions according to what you had found out during your research. Okay? And the last part is what we call the references. The references is usually followed when I provide research, or when I usually ask my students to do research, I also provide references. May mga binibigay akong references. Format for them to present the references. You can search the APA format. It's an American version of references which have standard na ginagamit yan. The author, kung kanino mo kinuha yung idea, libro, date, and so on. Those are the things. Okay? Now, what's the relevance of making a report writing? Okay? One, report as a means of internal communication. For students, it's just it means just you're presenting what you already had studied or worked on. For businesses, it's a way of communication. For management, it facilitates decision-making and better planning. It guides us or the managers to have or present a better decision for the company. Okay? The thing lang about research is it must have a reliable data. Kasi once you present yung data na hindi siya ganun ka-reliable or kulang-kulang siya, of course, the decision would fall hindi fair. Hindi siya magiging reliable because the data presented was actually hindi din reliable. Third, the report discloses unknown information. This comes with new learning. Dati, when you were conducting the research, before you had conducted the research, you assume that, ano ba yung sample natin kanina? Let's talk about population. You assumed or you had assumed that there's just about 40% of the total population female dun sa area. After the research you had conducted, you already identified na hindi pala, mas marami pala yung female when you talk about population dun sa specific area. Okay? All right. Number 4, report gives information to employees and in this manner to students. Okay? When you conduct your research, usually when students are given topics, hindi naman yan pare-pareho. So that you will have a different idea with different topics. Okay? Usually, when you conduct research, for example, one group, when you do your research before, yung traditional, ginugrupo kayo, and then one group will be focused on, for example, a company like San Miguel, the other would be focused on Coca-Cola. And then when you present your research work, the others would be able to learn more about what you had researched or worked on. Yung mga nagtrabaho sa San Miguel, for example, would be able to discuss the benefits of employees, those kind of things. And then the others would be able to also discuss the benefits of, well, Coca-Cola as presented by the research. So dapat talaga reliable siya. Okay? It adds up information. For research, guys, let me just read one. This is one good question. Somebody asked, Chris Remo, sir, is it for the first person or third person format? Pag case analysis siya, usually, or standard na ginagamit, it is a third person. You do not use we or I. You use to present yourself as the researcher. Tandaan nyo yan. That's a good question. Lagi yung error ng mga estudyante. Researchers were able or was able to find out that, and so on and so on and so on. Those kind of things. Okay? So, please read. Do an advanced reading on the next chapter, which is chapter 19, which is focused on recommendations. Recommendations and conclusions na yun. How will you be able to present a better conclusion and a better recommendation? All right, let me just read this one. Sorry, let me just read this one first. What if, from Shelley, what if po, sir, kung walang specific name of author sa source or references na kinukuha, should we indicate? This is usually happening or this usually occur doon sa mga, well, minsan sa mga internet. Usually kinakapture nyo yung ideas doon. You can just specify yung link kung saan nyo siya kinapi or saan nyo kinuha yung idea. Not kinapi, baka makasuhan kayo ng plagiarism. Where the thought was taken and then present it with a link and then kung saang site siya nakuha. That's just about it. There are times talagang hindi indicated yung author. And then wala namang problem doon.